Hello dear friends. In today's video I'm inviting you to join me in my studio for a spot of watercolor journaling. I'll be using a selection of deep light watercolors that I chose that would suit the season, and I'll be journaling in one of their leather bound sketchbooks. So I'm just going to set everything up and I'll begin journaling, and I hope you enjoy the video. In today's journal's layout, I drew a winter's blessing spell. I love winter. It's a time for cocooning and for reflecting and for dreaming of the future year ahead. I thought it fitting to draw a winter's blessing spell for today's layout. So to begin with, I am going to add some shadows to the surrounding area of my layout. So I'm going to pick up some natural umber and dilute it. I'm going to begin adding some shadows around my paper here. For the actual paper, I am going to mix some bent grass. I love this colour, so very delicate, and a spot of gold ochre. And on the side, I'm going to put a little bit of English red. I don't need a lot, and I can always mix some more. I'm doing circular motions to soften the colour. And because the colours are non-staining, it gives me a lot more time to do this. Otherwise, the paper would be stained and I wouldn't be able to move them about as much. The brush I'm using is a Tintoretto, one of my absolute favourite brushes. I really enjoy this brush because it has soft enough bristles to gently distribute the watercolour onto the paper, but it also retains a fine point, which gives me control. Now that the parchment effect is finished, I'm going to start colouring in the ingredients for my winter's blessing. The ingredients I have included in this winter's blessing spell are a sleepy mandrake, midnight trumpet mushrooms, a tiny ocean, a lonely moon, winter grasses, and here I am going to swatch the magical palette that I am using. So to begin with, I am going to start with the mandrake. I'm going to begin with putting some greens onto my palette. The greens I have selected are Soul of the Oak, which is one of my most favourite greens by DeepDeepLight, Green Woodpecker, Meadow Green and Forest Green, and on the side here I've put some Acorn Rust. With the leaves done, I'm going to continue with colouring in my mandrake. For my mandrake, I'm going to use some umber. And the umber I'm going to use is the Umber Light, which is heavily yellow leaning. I'm also going to add some gold ochre onto the side, just in case I want to mix it on the paper. And for the mandrake's cheeks, I'm going to use some of this delightful Rose Marrakesh. For the midnight trumpets, I'm going to use one of my beloved colour combinations, and that is Forest Pigeon and Rose Marrakesh. For the rest of the mushroom, I'm going to use some umber light again. Now it's time to colour in our tiny ocean, and for this I'm going to use water lily and river. For the lonely moon, I think I'm going to use some acorn rust. The final ingredient for our winter's blessing are these winter grasses. And with that done, I'm going to add a few more details and then swatch all the colours I use to create this winter's blessing. I really hope you enjoyed this little watercolour journaling session, and I really hope that you have an incredible winter ahead. Bye bye for now. Bye.